This June, the Nintendo Direct was a massive W to all Mario fans. Amongst everything, we are receiving a remaster of the legendary Super Mario RPG. Having not played much of it at the time of the June Direct, I decided to try the original SNES version afterwards, and boy, I could not believe what I was missing out on. Upon completing the game, it has now become one of the best RPG games I have ever played. The story, characters, music and locations are all heartwarming every step of the way. It now comes without saying, but I'm just as hyped to play the remake on the Switch this November. So for today's video, I've decided to count down my top 10 locations I am most excited to see in the Super Mario RPG remake. As ever, this is just my own personal opinion, so feel free to let me know which locations you're most excited to see in the comments down below. And with that, let the countdown commence. Starting this list, we are heading out of the Bologna Temple and into Monstro Town, a woodland-type side area home to reformed monsters. Speaking to Monsterama here, you need to call on him to summon the Sky Troopers to get out of Land's End into Bean Valley. You will also find a ninja-style training course and the Musty Fizz challenging you to find certain flags for them around the map. If you perform consecutive jumps using Mario's Super Jump correctly, you'll receive an attack scarf from this Chow. Regarding the remake, I do hope the timing for these jumps is not as awkward, since racking up those jumps is so stupidly hard on the original. You will understand when you try and do it yourself. The music and landscape in general creates a sense of peace and calmness underneath all the monstrosity, which I quite like. One boss, however, makes it qualify for this list, and that is Kulex. Kulex is an optional boss that you can fight in this game, and he originates from the Final Fantasy series. But this guy is no joke. He may be optional, but he is undoubtedly one of the most rage-inducing bosses I have ever fought. Including the crystals, he has a mighty 12,396 HP and insane attacks that deal almost 100 points worth of damage. I've put this at just number 10 on my list because I'm not sure they will bring this boss back unless Squaresoft produces the remake. However, if so, I can tell you that it will receive a massive boost in the graphics, which it rightfully deserves for being a fantastic boss, if maybe too hard. Plus, it feels like more of a side location than a full one, so it is a bit condensed compared to everything else on this list. Outside of Kulex and this being a serious position in Mario's quest, Monstro Town is a relatively peaceful atmosphere when you think about it. Next, we are going along to the seaside area, and after speaking to this elder in Seaside Town, you can enter the sea and the Sunken Ship. In the sea, you are entering an abandoned underground area featuring this store, which Mario seems to be the only customer. Once done, you travel down these whirlpools to walk at the bottom of the water. We may not have seen any of that part, but the swimming animation for Mario, according to the trailer, has improved immensely compared to the original. Deriving from the trailer, the improved dark atmosphere might also be carried from Kyo's sewers into here. Upon entering the daylight again, you must enter the Sunken Ship itself from the funnel, where you are powering through cabins filled with alley rats, dry bones, creepers, and many more enemies. You are then greeted with 6 rooms which will give clues to the secret passcode used to access the treasure room. In the original game, the passcode was pearls, and unless newcomers are playing the remake, people will probably already know the passcode would be pearls, so I think they might switch to a different passcode in the remake. After cracking the code, you will fight King Calamari and his tentacles. Going through more rooms, you will encounter a mirror version of yourself, and I think the mirrored image will be a lighter shade than the original. Travelling through the water again, you get to fight Johnny's henchman, which is a complete joke. Finally, you fight Johnny the pirate shark and grab your 5th star. Back on dry land, you confront these residents who come together to form Yaredovich. He is one of the most challenging bosses in the game if you don't have the right strategies, and his water blast deals so much damage that you would feel helpless without Peach on your team. All areas have the perfect opportunity to include that gloomy, dull setting, especially at the sea section where it felt like it had been neglected for years. Adding bits of the broken seabed, old ship fragments, or maybe a couple of cobwebs will do nicely for the cave section's remaster. To conclude, I love this location due to the heavy exploration, which I am most definitely interested in doing for the remake. Our next stop on the list is Moleville. I admire this place because of the carefree landscape you are standing in, with the music adding much more. You have your standard shop, In, and other mole characters you'd want to interact with, all in shelters. Do not let your guard down though, as some moles are trapped in the mines, resulting in Mario going underground to rescue them. Along the way, Mario takes a big blow to the head and Croco returns to steal his stuff. Defeating him again, Mario searches deeper into the mines only to come across Punchinello guarding the 3rd star piece. Upon his defeat, he starts to summon bob-ombs of different sizes and suddenly throws a giant one in front of us, forcing us to flee. Instead of just an explosion animation shown here, I am excited to see a cool runaway animation trying to escape the giant explosion in the remake, given the 3D cutscenes from the direct. Boy, I cannot wait for that. After somehow surviving that, and in a bid to escape the cave with the 3rd star, you ride on the minecart tracks. The 3D aspect here was quite remarkable for SNES standards, even today, and we got teased for the outside section of this minigame. The dark, gloomy aesthetic should be maintained for the cave, maybe adding some other details including broken rocks, tracks, and other bits of junk. Going into a deep dark labyrinth stage, you will encounter the forest maze. Before going there, Mario rests in Rosetown after being seriously injured by Gaz and his toys. A star spirit comes down from above while he is asleep and possesses the Geno doll, who walks into the forest. Boy, I love how wild the plot gets. Going into the location as Mario, it starts with a straightforward pathway guarded by wigglers everywhere. We did get a glimpse of this spooky location in the Mario RPG trailer, and I'm honestly pleased it had received the dim, lonely lighting, making it feel like you are lost. Travelling down these stumps is the section I am looking forward to, however. It is nothing but a deep dark cave littered with enemies, possibly made even spookier in the remake due to the gloomy lighting. After making your way back above the ground, the stage turns into a maze. Oh, what a surprise. And you must try and pick the correct path or else the stage loops you back to the beginning. As you advance, you follow Geno to Bowyer, who holds the 2nd star piece. Super Mario RPG also dared to reference a real-life person, Bruce Lee. For the remake, the reference is quite outdated, so I think they might use a reference to a few Punch-Out characters instead. I mean, Nintendo did create the game after all. Now with Geno on your team, you are fighting Bowyer while he attempts to deactivate some of your action commands. I think the buttons in the remake will resemble those of the X, A and B buttons on the Pro Controller / Joy-Cons rather than just square tiles. The soundtrack creates a sense of mystery, which I think they will be highly faithful to regarding the remaster. Mario RPG games have compelling endings, and Legend of the Seven Stars is no exception. After running and jumping your way through many worlds, you have made it to Smithy's factory, the game's final level. The entrance itself is guarded by Smithy's henchmen and bots, which must be jumped on in order to make it onto the next platform. The miserable landscape here gives a sense of darkness as well as a serious tone, and it might just blow everyone's mind regarding the remake standards. Confronting the boss Countdown, this guy's creative, since every time the hour strikes he has a new attack style, adding more jeopardy to the fight. Next you confront Cloaker and Domino, and after seeing his friend has died, Cloaker teams up with Earthlink. Seriously, this game has some amazingly creative bosses that are so well designed, and I am excited to see everything in glorifying HD in November. When you do break into the factory, there are more of Smithy's workmen you must get through before confronting the beast of the game himself. The music here definitely packs a punch, so undoubtedly it will sound even more epic with the orchestral arrangement. You have come this far and are ruling victorious. Smithy is out of the picture and the 7th star piece has been restored. With his duties done, Geno bids farewell to the gang and returns home to Star Road, leaving behind the wooden doll body he possessed. The ending truly enhances the definition of moving on through life, as we know we have to say goodbye to some people soon. Geno's Star Spirit is a good example to that. Multiple emotions have been conveyed in every way, making it even more powerful to watch. I am ready to cry tears of joy again with the remake's powerful ending, all remastered in 3D. This location might be small, but it most certainly does shine. Quite literally. Star Hill can be accessed on the route to collecting the 4th star piece, and almost the whole area consists of blue meteorites and these starflower switches that can be activated to open these large doorways. Not only that, but these tiny green stars are littered on the ground, each representing a wish made by someone in the Mario universe. I think it is pretty touching to hear Luigi's wish to be like his brother Mario, and Mallow is quite unhappy about us looking at his wish. Sorry buddy. There's another wish made by Mallow's parents, wishing for him to come home soon, which I also find very powerful. The one word to describe this location is beautiful. I look forward to seeing the light renders on the star switches and the large portals for the remake, complete with the HD treatment. Perhaps they could add extra wish stars for more people, since they have had many more characters since 1996, right? What's more, the music. Oh man, it makes me cry tears of happiness whenever I visit. I am confident that the orchestra will compose a masterpiece of this already lovely music in the upcoming remake. The entire atmosphere of this area makes me tear up with joy, especially after seeing everyone's wishes. After falling out of the sky, Mario lands in the Barrel Volcano, a dark, dingy area filled with baddies, lava, traps, and many more dangers. Returning to the remake, I am excited to see the lava glowing everywhere in the volcano, especially since we saw the pipe vault section in the teaser, which enhances the lava textures to its full potential. After powering your way through a spooky pathway filled with tree stumps and monsters, you fight the Tsar Dragon, a boss guaranteed to get one massive glow up. I will be ready to fight this guy again. After all that, there's your 6th star. However, just when you think you will get it, the Axum Rangers suddenly drop by to steal it. After this, you will chase them through the volcano until you meet them at the top. Suddenly, they summon their airship and you must fight them there. I love this boss, mainly because of each warrior's unique personality, and I hope the remake will show the animations of the Rangers' excuses upon defeat, such as makeup running, stomach rumbling, and having a headache. The music for the Barrel Volcano perfectly fits the theme, especially with the bass line, desolate, abandoned, and lonely, with a sense of deadliness to it. In the run-up to Smithy's factory, this has to be the most significant opportunity to be boosted in the glow-up department. Now we've come to my most visited location, the Booster Tower. After teaming up with Bowser, you will go through a vertically based level filled with traps and enemies. Eventually, you will encounter Booster on the rail tracks, and now Mario must get to the top to stop Booster's wedding plans. After only seeing us back in the trailer, I am super excited to see Booster's full appearance in the remake. Once you reach the top, Booster will ask his minions to search for his Mario doll, and you will need to move around behind the curtains to avoid being seen. From this section, we also got the top floor teased in the trailer, and the moody lighting looks gorgeous, perfect for Booster's personality. There is also a neat Easter egg midway up the tower. If you go behind the curtains, Mario will transform into his original 8-bit sprite. Oh boy, this game pushed the SNES far and beyond, didn't they? Furthermore, I am also wondering whether the original Super Mario RPG sprite will emerge from behind the curtains should Mario go behind it. I suppose we'll have to find out when the remake is released. Another section that got teased in the remake's trailer was the fight against the Knife and Great Guy. Looking at that, the Blizzard animation looks so much more polished here. When it comes to enemy spells, I'm particularly looking forward to seeing the Sword Rain. While the music becomes quite forgettable, I do like the bass line used in this soundtrack, which I'm hoping they will keep in the remake. When it comes to Mario-themed levels, my favourite ones have to be the Sky stages, and Nimbus Land is no exception. To reach this area, you will need to climb these colourful vines in the vinery, which the depth perception looks so much better in the remake's trailer. After getting there, Mario and his crew arrive just in time to hear the plan, tricking the residents into thinking Dodo is Prince Mallow, with Valentina legally becoming his queen. Valentina acts so disrespectfully towards Dodo as she complains about how he never listens, is too slow, and even calls him fat. That is a proper roast I am ready to see in the remake. After Mario listens to all of that, he must visit Garrow to turn him into a golden statue, as that is its only way into Nimbus Castle. For the remake, I would love to see a satisfying cutscene of Garrow making Mario into a statue, since we are in the Switch era with full-blown 3D animations. Now Mario is in the castle, he must avoid being seen by dodging Dodo's pecs. From this point, after making your way through an army of Jawfuls and heavy troopers, you will collect the key from one of the castle staff. Upon unlocking the door, you will fight against Birdo. Birdo and Nimbus Castle got teased in the remake, and the walls look great with the extra details for the castle, topped off with the shiny gold texture. After confronting Valentina for the key, we go through several rooms in the castle and then suddenly fall off this ledge. Back on the clouds, we face Valentina and Dodo for the key, and we saw this fight in the trailer, which looks just as impressive. Getting the key back, we meet with the Nimbus King and Queen, who congratulate us on our bravery and courage. With the new 3D cutscenes, I cannot wait to see this reunion happen between Mallow and his parents in the remake. The music is also charming and wonderful up here, and we did hear some of it in the remake's trailer. While Valentina is still about, the castle music combines the sense of royalty and evil into a great soundtrack. I am so ready to listen to all this music in full with that orchestral treatment. The location I am most excited to see in this remake is Marrymore. After a long chase sequence against Booster, we reach the marriage resort, and it has a giant chapel which we break into from behind since the front is locked. Going into the kitchen and standing on this cake will anger the chefs, which I find quite hilarious. I mean, Mario should know better, man. You fools! After crashing through the doors, Peach ends up losing some of her items and she starts crying. And then Booster stupidly thinks she is leaking and proceeds to lick her tears. Can you imagine how this would look in the remake? Anyway, Mario must try and fetch Peach's missing items, and this is where the location starts to get wild. If you collect Peach's wedding items fast enough, you will get a kiss from her, but if you are too slow, either Booster, Bowser, or both will end up kissing Mario instead. This is the scene I cannot wait to see in the remake, especially with the glamorous 3D animations. However, that is not the end. The chef and his apprentice throw us into combat for crashing the wedding. Next thing you know, you are fighting the giant wedding cake named Bunt, which I feel is the most absurd, silliest thing ever, and that is on top of listening to the chefs bicker on whether the cake is moving or not. Even on the way to leaving Marrymore, if you try and take Peach down this path, she will try and convince you to do the right thing and go to the Mushroom Kingdom straight away. If Mario keeps refusing this, everyone will get angrier and angrier until they break. This part will definitely be included in the remake since the teaser teased a small portion of that scene. I am not sure they will do this, but imagine if making the wrong choice here gives you a game over. Now that would be hilarious to include for the remake. Overall, Marrymore gets so goofy whenever I return to it, and the writers did their A game when making this location. This is why I am so hyped to play this particular location when the remake releases this November. I am so glad I played the original SNES version from start to finish, because playing it has given me a newfound appreciation for the remake, and I can see why people have been so hyped and crazy about it. With everything said, I am looking forward to welcoming this stellar game into the remake family later in the year. I've been Marky Boy, and this has been my top 10 locations I am most excited to see in the Super Mario RPG remake. We'll see you in the next video. Goodbye! Hey guys, thanks for watching today's video. Like and subscribe to see more, and I have some videos on screen to check out too. Remember, I have some social media networks in the description down below. Have a great day until the next video. Bye bye.